What's going on, duelists? It's your boy Nick, bringing you today on the channel an update to my Volcanic Burn deck profile for the post-September ban list. I know it's been a while since my last upload. I took a little bit of a break from the game just to kind of, relax. Well, not really relax, but I just had a lot going on in my personal life between work and a lot of things that were changing. And I just wanted to kind of remove myself from all the chaos that was Yu-Gi-Oh! And I gotta say, it was very refreshing to not feel pressured to have to come up with content every week. I feel like this break did me a ton of good, and not only am I back with amazing new content, but I'm gonna continue delivering really awesome and unique deck profiles post ban list. The ban list was huge. I know a lot of people have differing opinions about it. Personally, I think the ban list was actually pretty well done, albeit, Rage of the Abyss, is TCG release is impending come early October, which in my opinion does invalidate the list to some degree, because the hits that were given to Snake Eye are kind of just reversed once Rage releases, because they get all the power that they lost in this list back once that set releases. But with all that aside, that's not to say that the current format isn't going to be different. And like I said, I wanted to bring you guys an updated Volcanic deck list. Now, the funny thing about this is, Fiendsmith Lacrima was banned. And, that card was pretty degenerate for the fact that it could just burn your opponent and sack for game. And it's kind of ironic because the actual burn deck, this being Volcanic, was completely left unscathed. Not that any of the Volcanic cards are meta relevant, but for those of you who have followed my channel and have seen my previous Volcanic lists, we were playing a very small Snake Eye package in the deck to help improve consistency and give the deck a fallback plan if the FTK fails. And we were only playing one-ofs of all the Snake Eyes. And because the ban list only limited cards like Snake Eye Ash and Snake Eye Poplar, this deck is completely unscathed by the list, because we didn't have to really reinvent the wheel here. But I did make adjustments to ratios, as well as added more non-engine to the deck to help with going second and breaking boards. So without wasting any more time, I'm back, and I couldn't be happier. We're diving headfirst into the 60-card Volcanic deck profile for the post-September ban list. If you are not subscribed, make sure that you smash that subscribe button, like the video. We're working our way to 2,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. So, starting things off with the monster lineup, you know how we do. We have a playset of the Electro Blaster. Now, this card is an amazing extender. Kind of functions in a similar vein as Kagamusha Knight. Basically, if you normal or special summon a fire monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then you have the option to send a level 8 pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard as an optional effect. If you don't want to do that, then you'll just special this from hand. What I like most about Electro Blaster is not only is it a free extender, but it also can chain block some of your normal summons if they have effects that trigger when normal summon. Like example, normal summon Volcanic Trooper, activate effect, you can actually chain Electro Blaster in the hand to summon before your opponent can get the chance to use an Ash Blossom, for example, on your Trooper effect, which I think is really cool. Plus, not to mention, it helps, gives you a Foolish Burial for a level 8 Pyro, which obviously is going to be your Volcanic Emperor. And not only that, it's a level 4 Fire Machine. Now, the typing matters because of the FTK with the Blaze Phoenix requiring a machine and a Pyro monster as material, which Electro Blaster, fits quite well into that, obviously. So we max out on this card. Like I said, it's an amazing extender in the deck and just a ton of fun to use. Up next, we do have a playset of the Volcanic Trooper. Pretty much the best starter for the Volcanic deck upon normal or special summon. Allows you to add a Volcanic card from deck to hand. And then as a secondary effect, he can allow you to discard a card for cost to special summon a bomb token to the opponent's field. If that token winds up being destroyed, its controller takes 500 damage. So Trooper, not only an amazing starter, allowing you to toolbox into any Volcanic card you need, but the fact that he allows you to discard any card from hand to produce a bomb token is great, because as you know, a lot of the Volcanic cards actually like being in the graveyard, which is obviously really strong. Since we're on the subject, I do want to just kind of spoiler, we are not playing That Grass Looks Greener in this deck. Although it's a 60-card deck, and I do feel like grass, could be played. Personally, I just feel like it's not worth the effort, in my opinion, especially since grass is just a one-of, and really the only consistent ways to get access to it would be using cards like Thrust, which we are playing. But like I said, I would rather spend that slot on something a lot better and more consistent in my opinion, as opposed to relying on like luck-based cards like grass. So just clearing the air as far as that's concerned. We are playing a playset of Volcanic Scattershot. You all know my standpoint on this. It's, in my opinion, not a Volcanic deck unless you are playing triple Scattershot in the deck. Yes, I'm aware that it can hurt consistency at times, but in all seriousness, it is just so much fun to play this card, and it really does truly make you feel like you're playing Volcanics as they were intended when you do run this card at 3. Up next, best card in the deck, in my opinion, even though it might not seem like it, Triple Volcanic Shell. This card just does so much for you as far as being able to set up your plays and just giving you basically free discard fodder for most of your effects that do require you to send cards, like Diabel, like Imseti. This is just another amazing card that you can pitch off of like a Volcanic Trooper effect to summon a bomb token, use Shell to add more resources to hand, and it's just a really amazing card all the way around. So triple copies of Shell. Then we're on 2 copies of Rimfire, followed by 1 copy of Volcanic Rocket. The 2 Rimfire ratio is still pretty solid in my opinion. I don't think the card needs to be a 3 of. You basically just want to send this card to the graveyard so you can use this Foolish Burial-like effect, and or use the secondary effect it has to allow you to activate a Blaze Accelerator card directly from your deck, which is really strong. And then obviously Rocket, not as good of a starter as Trooper, because Trooper allows you to search any Volcanic card, but Rocket does come up in some fringe cases, allowing you to add a Blaze Accelerator card from the deck or grave to your hand. I think Rocket as a 1 of is perfectly fine in my opinion. And like I said, these are the ratios that I've been comfortable with after doing tons and tons of testing with this deck list. And then to round out the Volcanic monsters, at least, we played 2 copies of Emperor. I think 2 copies of Emperor is pretty much mandatory. Can you get away with playing 1? Yes, but it is a bit risky, especially if your opponent's able to, like, you know, banish the card or steal it from you, for example. You know, it can be a little bit daunting to not have a second copy, because sometimes, depending on what your lines are and what kind of disruption you're playing through, if you're unable to perform the FTK, you might need the second Emperor for a follow-up push. Depending on how things go. So I think 2 Emperor is perfectly fine. Even if you draw it, the card's not really a brick. It's just discard fodder for any of the other plethora of cards you have that require a discard outlet. Because Emperor can not only be summoned from hand, but graveyard as well, which makes him pretty versatile in my opinion. Amazing card all the way around. Now moving into the Snake Eye package, and I know a lot of you are going to be rolling your eyes. I know everyone is kind of sick of Snake Eye, but like I said, we play these cards because they're amazing extenders. For example, Diabel here, just giving access to our starters, for example, in the deck. Not only like Snake Eye starters, but we can even use Diabel to tutor into OSS. OSS can get us into cards like Rimfire and or Shell. If we need those cards, it's not just always, you know, Snake Eye, you know, go burr. You know, I've play tested this deck a lot, and I really do like having the Diabel as just an extender in this deck, or can even like bait out disruptions before you commit to your Volcanic lines. I just think playing 3 Diabel is required. Then obviously we're on the 1-ofs of all the Snake Eyes: 1 Ash, 1 Oak, 1 Poplar. Like I said, we were always playing 1-ofs of these cards anyway, so the ban list doesn't really affect us directly all that much. The lines and the combos still relatively remain the same. 1 Snake Eye Diabel followed by 1 Flamberge. Now I know a lot of people really wanted to see Snake Eye like hit harder on this list, but personally, there's no way that they could have done that. We still have Megatins releasing later this month, which we already know there's going to be confirmed Snake Eye reprints in those tins. Konami's not stupid. They still have a business to run. They're not just going to ban half the cards that people are wanting to get the tins for anyway. Plus, not to mention, there's still more of the Diabel lore story to be told in the upcoming set Rage of the Abyss. So, you know, for that reason, I know that's probably why Flamberge is still here. That's probably why we still have Snake Eye Oak in the sort. You know, limiting Ash and Poplar does hurt the consistency, but again, that's more for the pure Snake Eye deck. In this Volcanic variant, we were always playing 1-ofs of these cards anyway. And the sole reason why we are playing these cards is because it's a great backup plan to fall back on in the event that our FTK does not, you know, or we're unable to produce it because of, you know, we're just getting disrupted or stopped. You know, playing, you know, committing to the Volcanic stuff first, and then, you know, if it resolves, we basically win because obviously it's an FTK. But if it doesn't resolve, having the ability to fall back onto the Snake Eye game plan, which gives the deck more of a grind game and longevity post turn 3, in my opinion, is very strong and something to not be overlooked. And again, before anybody rolls their eyes and says that it's a Snake Eye deck, it's not. This is a 60 card Volcanic Burn deck. We are literally out of 60 cards only playing 5 Snake Eye cards. Literal one-ofs of all the names except Birch, because Birch isn't that great. But that's neither here nor there. So just one-ofs of all the Snake Eye monsters is more than enough. You do not need to play any more than this. Like I said, I've tested the deck vigorously, and so far it's been working out great. As a supplementary package, though, aside from Snake Eyes, we're also playing a Horus package consisting of 3 Imseti, followed by 1 Happy. Imseti and Happy are just absolutely insane extenders. Well, I would say Imseti. Happy's more of a brick, in my opinion. But together, you know, being able to access King Sarcophagus allows you to get 2 free level 8s on board, which you can consolidate into basically any rank 8 exceeds of your choosing. We'll go over the extra deck and what targets we're playing for that shortly, but I think playing the Horus package in Volcanics is an absolute must because it gives you great discard outlets for cards like Rimfire and Shell and other things of that nature, which allow you to get the ball rolling and get your engine started, which is obviously very strong. And then to round out the last 2 monsters, we do play 1 Awakening of the Possessed, Greater and Ari Fire, really cool to help just push for that FTK, and then 1 copy of Agnimal Candle. This card is an interesting tech I'm running because it is a level 4 Pyro that basically, in the event that you drew Poplar, because now that Poplar is a one-of, again, we were always playing 1 anyway, it gives Bonfire the ability to still search out an extender. Because this card states when it's added to the hand, except by drawing it, you're just able to special summon it for free as a level 4 Pyro body. It's also a tuner, so if you wanted to make synchro plays in this deck, you absolutely could. But realistically, it's just a one-of in this deck that, like I said, is a searchable Pyro off Bonfire that allows you to extend in the event that for whatever reason you don't have access to Poplar, or if you've already used Poplar's effect, for example. You know, you want, sometimes, you know, Bonfire can only search you cards that are usually just normal summons. You know, searching Snake Eye Ash, searching Volcanic Trooper, searching Volcanic Rocket, for example, searching even Volcanic Shell. None of those cards are like extenders, especially if you've already exhausted your normal summon. So outside of Poplar specifically, there isn't another level 4 lower Pyro you can search that helps you push through a disruption. That's why we run the Agnimal Candle in the event that we just needed something for Bonfire to search that does extend into other plays. We have access to that here. So that wraps up the monster lineup. I believe it's 31 monsters. Again, 60 card deck. Now moving on to the spells, of which we do play a playset of our Bonfire, which has been confirmed to be reprinted in the tin in Prismatic Secret Rare. I absolutely cannot wait to snag a playset of those, which is great news, not only for people who wanted the card, because obviously the price will definitely cool off, and you won't have to, you know, be dropping, you know, $25+ per copy of Bonfire. So I think that's obviously really strong there. Up next, we do play a playset of Fire Ejection. This card I think is very slept on. Yes, it's a Volcanic card, well not a name, but what this card is basically a generic Foolish Burial for any Pyro. All it states is that you send a Pyro from your deck to grave, so just Foolish for any Pyro you want. However, if you sent a Volcanic monster specifically, you can apply one of the following effects. You can either inflict damage to your opponent equal to the sent monster's level times 100, or you get to produce a bomb token to their field, just like the same token that Volcanic Trooper produces. What's cool about this card is that it helps you open up so many plays, because again, a lot of the Volcanics do like to be in the graveyard, but in certain scenarios, if you opened with cards like Snake Eye Oak, for example, which I know Oak is usually like very divisive because it's not really a starter. If you have Oak plus Ejection, you could easily go Ejection, pitch like Snake Eye Ash, then normal Oak into Ash, and then you have full Snake Eye combo right there pretty much already, which is obviously really gas. But also the fact that if you do send a Volcanic, the ability to produce a bomb token to the opponent's field is amazing because it can nullify cards like Infinite Impermanence, for example. You know, assuming you're going first and your opponent has cards like Imperm in the hand, they can no longer use it because now they control a card on their side of the field, which is obviously really strong. So 3 copies of Fire Ejection, really amazing spell in my opinion, also a great thrust target. Up next is a playset of Volcanic Blaze Accelerator, really powerful Volcanic spell card. It just helps you break boards going second. Also serves as an extender because it allows you to special summon Volcanics from the hand. So very strong card there. Then we obviously play the 3 copies of Wanted, Seeker of Sinful Spoils for the Diabel package. Again, we're only playing that to help increase the deck's consistency. You know, being able to access their combos more frequently is obviously always a benefit. And like I said, the card is still at 3, so you might as well run it. There's no reason not to. Then we're on 2 copies of King Sarcophagus for the Horus package, followed by 2 copies of Fire Recovery, basically a pseudo monster reborn of sorts for this deck, but has an amazing graveyard effect. Allows you to recycle either banished fires or fires that are in the graveyard into the deck, and gives you a draw to boot. So 2 really amazing spell cards there that we play as 2 ofs. And then for the 1 ofs, we're on 1 Blaze Accelerator, 1 OSS, 1 Temple to wrap up, the I would say archetypal / engine spell requirements. Pretty self-explanatory for all those cards there. No need to really dive into what their usefulness is for. And then to round out for the non-engine spell choices, we are on a playset of Forbidden Droplet, a very powerful card, especially this upcoming format, followed by 2 copies of Thrust and 1 copy of Talents for our non-engine. And then to round out the last spell, which is also non-engine, is just 1 Call to the Grave. Almost forgot about that. So 3 Droplet, 2 Talents, 2 Thrust, 1 Talents, 1 Called By is the non-engine that we're playing in this deck. If you noticed, we're not really playing any hand traps, and that's actually because this deck, even if we lose the die roll and go second game 1, this deck has such an amazing ability to break boards. It almost doesn't even need to play hand traps, because there's almost not a single board that the opponent can make that this deck can't break. Even last format, when we still had cards like Lacrima and like Appaloosa, I had taken first place at my locals with this deck, going up against 2 different Snake Eye Fiendsmith lists, and I broke their boards going second both times, which was absolutely incredible, using just engine. It was absolutely insane. So this deck really doesn't need to run hand traps. I would rather go for the board breaker approach. Plus, cards like Droplet in this deck are just free real estate, because you're able to pitch cards like Shell and Rimfire for cost, which just help, again, get the ball rolling for lots of things. So I just feel like Droplet in this deck has extra value, because there's so many cards that do just want to be in the graveyard naturally. And then to round out the last remaining slots in the main deck, we're on 1 Blaze Accelerator Reload, 1 Volcanic Emission, and then the 1 Spiritual Fire Art Kurenai, again to help us in assistance with the FTK setups. In some cases too, if we do get hand trapped going first, we can actually thrust into cards like Emission or Kurenai and just set them to our side of the field. It's just crazy, and then that helps us just either sometimes close out the game if we fell short on our burn damage, for example, which is obviously really strong. But that rounds out the 60-card main deck. Now we're going to be diving headfirst into the extra deck, of which we're on the 1 copy of the Blaze Phoenix, the Burning Bombardment Bird. Critical to the FTK, the fact that this card is a soft once per turn and not a hard once is absolutely ignorant in my opinion, but it is legal, and of course we are definitely going to take full advantage of it. So you play that as the 1 of. We're on the 1 Infernal Flame Banshee. It's just a generic, Pyro rank 4 that helps us tutor into more cards from our deck, or Foolish Burial Pyros, for example. We're also on the 1 Zombie Vampire and the 1 Garunic's Eternity, Hyang of the Fire Kings, for our rank 8 options of choice, which, like I said, they play very nicely with our Horus package. If we do need to extend further, we go Zombie Vampire. If we want to break the board going second, we can make, the Garunic's Eternity, just nuke the whole field. This is really strong. Garunic's Eternity also being a fire is really cool. A Pyro, because sometimes you can actually banish this to summon your Volcanic Emperor, given that he's the proper typing, which is some really interesting synergy there. Then moving on to our links, pretty self-explanatory. 1 Anima, 1 IP, 1 Barricade Board Blocker, and a Proxy F Magician for the FTK. Then we're on the 1 SP Little Knight, followed by the 1 copy of Sunlight Wolf, 1 Hida, Fire Charmer Blaze, and then obviously the 1 Promethean Princess, the Bestower of Flames. Pretty self-explanatory extra deck slots. Obviously Proxy F and the Barricade Board are FTK specific, so you may not run those if you're not playing in the FTK variant of this deck. And then to round out the last links in the extra deck are just 1 Zelantis, 1 Ambler Whale, and the 1 Salamangreat Great Raging Phoenix. Very powerful link 4s in their own right. And now, before we wrap up the video, let's go over the side deck, which did get updated for the post-September ban list. We have a playset of Rescue Ace Impulse, followed by 1 Rescue Ace Fire Attacker. Now, this is a very interesting tech package I'm playing in the side, specifically for when we choose to go second, or if we think our opponent's going to choose to go first, which, let's face it, will happen most of the time, especially if we FTK them game 1. I feel like the Rescue Ace package is really cool in this deck because, again, we're not really playing many hand traps, but what this package does offer us is the ability to impulse into Fire Attacker on the opponent's turn, And then we basically get free value as the opponent tries to build their board. If they add a card from deck to hand, we get to draw 2 and discard 1, which for this deck is huge. Like, I can't even describe you the amount of potential that that can offer us, because the fact that we get to draw into more engine, which again, our engine is very good at breaking boards to begin with, but the discard is what really can set us up, because we have the potential to pitch some really crazy things, which again, we'll talk a little more about once we get to the rest of the side deck. But I feel like the Rescue Ace package in this deck is pretty invaluable. Plus, not to mention, they're all fires, so like, you know, we can easily use them as link climbing tools. And the fact that Fire Attacker happens to be a machine means that if we do want to do the FTK post game 1, we can actually use Fire Attacker as a machine type to go into our Blaze Phoenix, which is really cool in certain scenarios. Up next, just one Kurikara again for the board breaking going second. And then for the back row hate, we are just on 3 copies of Twin Twisters. I like Twin Twisters over Cosmic in this deck because, again, I like having the discard outlet. There's so many cards in this deck that naturally want to be engraved, so having Twin Twisters not only be like engine but non-engine at the same time is really strong. Then we're also on the 1 Sinful Spoils of Subversion Snake Eye, again for more board breaking prowess when you know you're going second. Then if we're going first, I am running this little gem, triple copies of Gravedigger's Trap Hole. Again, this is a burn deck at heart, so just having the ability to have a chainable trap that can just outright either stop hand traps, stop hand effects, or grave effects as well, and burn for 2k on a card that's not even a hard once is absolutely insane. So max out on a playset of that. And then to round out the remaining side cards is 2 copies of Blaze Accelerator Reload, followed by 1 copy of Volcanic Inferno. Usually side into Inferno if we know we're going first. And then the reloads are to side into alongside the Rescue Ace package for going second, because Blaze Reload, if discarded, or you know, if it gets sent to the graveyard, for example, we can banish it from grave to send a Volcanic monster from deck to grave. We can send Scattershot, and since Scattershot is sent by a Blaze Accelerator card, you can do the whole Scattershot effect of sending all multiple to the grave, blowing up their board and burning for 1500, which is really, really strong. So in tandem with the Rescue Ace cards, or really anything, because again, there's so many discard outlets in this deck. Like Msteady Pitch Blaze Reload is just damn near FTK on its own. Really, really powerful in my opinion. So that's going to wrap up the side deck. Again, this is my update for my Volcanic Burn deck for the post-September ban list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the profile. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of the deck list. If you want to see combos and test hands, let me know as well. I will also be taking this deck to locals at the first opportunity I get, so I will definitely be doing a post-locals report of the deck as well, so stay tuned for that, as well as really amazing content that I have coming down the pipeline post-ban list and post-Rage of the Abyss as well. So if you got this far in the video and you're not subscribed, just subscribe. Like I said, we're working our way to 2K subs. I need your help to get there. Like the video as well. And with that being said, this is Nick hitting that end phase. Peace.